Here at the Shalz YouTube channel, we've sort of derailed. Recently, I've looked at mods that add electricity to create, so we've got electrical connectors here and copper wires. Look at that. Crude oil. We've been digging oil in create. With napalm. They added napalm to create. But today we're toning it down a bit from destruction and death. And we're taking a look at two mods, create connected and create power loader. Both of these mods are made by Lysine, the same person. And it's sick. Look at this. Wow. I mean, what is this? A sequenced pulse generator? I have no... Yeah, it's getting a bit complicated, but I've been told that this mod is a certified quality of life banger. So I just had to take a look at it and then create power loader. This is where it gets really cool. Gearboxes are an important part of Create. You can use it to move your rotation to different places. It's rotating in this place and now it's rotating in this place. In the normal gearbox, you can rotate on these faces, and on the vertical one, it's the top face, bottom face, and then two of the other ones, but not here. And so many times I've needed to connect shafts on the sides as well, but you can't. There's nothing there. Well, fear no more, because the 6-way gearbox goes in, I believe, all directions. Yeah, there you go. So if we power this, we have a vertical gearbox and a normal one at the same time. That's crazy. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I've just created a web of 6-way gearboxes. This looks very weird. Anyways, normal gearboxes, dumb. 6-way gearbox. Oof, that's a winner right there. But it doesn't stop there. The 6-way gearbox is only one out of 6 gearboxes added by Create Connected. This is very much connected. So the brass gearboxes here, I'm not quite sure what they do. Okay, we can right-click them. I might have some guesses for that, but let's take a look at these gearboxes first, okay? We've of course got the 6-way gearbox. We looked at that. We've got the parallel gearbox, which I have no idea what this does. Let's power it, and it looks like a normal one. Wait, is it doing it in the opposite direction from the normal one? It is. Yes, that is so nice. Right, here's a problem I usually run into when I make mechanical belts. You've probably run into this too. If we power this, you can see this mechanical belt is moving, but this one is not. So then you're like, yeah, I'll just put a gearbox here, put a shaft into this one, and oh, no, it's moving backwards. If we're transporting something here, it's gonna go off. So you have to sort of do like one gearbox here and then another one in front. Very dumb. And the parallel gearbox, hopefully, completely fixes that. What's the crafting recipe for this? Because that is it's just a gearbox and a large cogwheel. This is honestly so simple, but such a game changer. Right, then we have the vertical parallel gearbox, and I'm guessing that's the same thing as the parallel one, just for a vertical gearbox. We don't really have to go into that. And then there's a vertical 6-way, and I guess that's the same thing as the 6-way, just as a vertical gearbox. Wait, so it just spins in a different direction. Yes, it's a 6-way gearbox, just based on the vertical gearbox instead. Very cool. But now for the brass gearboxes. Does this change the way it rotates? It does! Just like a gearbox gear shift. I mean, everyone knows what a gear shift does, right? You power it with a lever and it changes direction. You see, it's rotating in different directions. Wow. This thing does that, but you have to manually change it. That's pretty cool. So this is just a gearbox that you can completely configure to your heart's desire. I want you to rotate in this direction, you in this, and you in that. Wow, that's neat. More gearbox power to the people. Inverted. Here we have two different blocks that are just very simple and pretty helpful. This is what a clutch looks like, and this is what a gear shift looks like. And over here we have the inverted clutch and inverted gear shift. And it does exactly what you think. It inverts. So if we power all of these, we can see that this clutch stops the rotation if we power it. Nice. This clutch right here starts rotation if we power it. And this is something that I'm missing in Create. I've wanted this block for a while. Now the best solution for this problem, in my opinion, is to not add a different block for it, but just to make it so you can like wrench the clutch or something. Maybe go into one of these little menu things to invert it. Because I found myself several times having to power a clutch with like a torch and then powering the torch with redstone because I want it to be inverted. There are probably better ways to do this, but this is a block that I will most definitely be using. And then the gear shift, of course, in the normal one, you see this is spinning to the right and this is spinning to the right. And when we power it, this shaft here starts spinning to the left instead of the right. And over here, it's just spinning in the opposite direction already. And then when we power it, they start spinning in the same direction. And here we have sort of the rest of the moving blocks, except for the item silo. This is the easiest one to understand. Normally, when you make an item vault, you place it out like this, and then you can expand it. But there is no way to make a vertical item vault. That is something I've been wanting to do several times, and now you can. There you go. The item silo, a solid 10 out of 10 block, but honestly, it should just be a part of Create already. Why? Why is this not a thing? And then we have ourselves the brake, and this is a very interesting block. What it does is it overstresses the network. If you want to quickly kill your machine, you can use a brake to do it. Now, obviously clutches exist, but the brake adds, as you can see, 262,000 stress. So if we just get a couple more, I guess we've got more. There we go. 2 brakes overstress 1 creative motor. That's all we needed to completely kill this creative motor. Pretty neat block. This right here is the freewheel clutch. What you do is you power it from the side with this sort of arrow looking thing right here. And as you can see, it is not moving. If we then change this, it starts moving. So basically, it's just a clutch that will stop all the rotation if it's not going in the correct direction. So as you can see, this one is spinning counterclockwise, right? And I've told this to only spin counterclockwise, so that makes it move. If we then tell it to only go clockwise, it's going to stop because obviously this is going counterclockwise. We tell this to go clockwise and it starts moving again. Pretty simple. Yet another clutch here, the centrifugal clutch. Now I believe this thing only moves when it's got the correct rotation. And this is something I find really cool. So if you place out a normal creative motor, it's got 16 RPM, right? So if we put this into here, it's not going to move because this is configured for 64. And we'll move this down to 16 and boom, it's now moving because it's got the correct RPM. So I guess what we can do is place 3 creative motors here with different speeds, 16, 35, 112. We'll match the speed on the centrifugal clutches. And as you can see, when the 16 RPM is moving, the 16 RPM clutch is moving. And then if we turn you off and turn you on, that's going to do, ooh, that's going to do both of them. Interesting. This one shouldn't move, right? Because we're moving at 35 right now. Are you also moving at 31? Yeah, this one is moving at 35 RPM. It's not supposed to move unless it's got 16. Oh wait, I think it moves when it's faster than the one you've set. Okay, it doesn't have to be the precise one. Just as long as it's faster than 16, this thing's gonna move. I get it. Okay. So yeah, if we power this, all of them are gonna move, yes, at 112. All right. And finally, we have the overstress clutch and the encased chain cogwheel. The overstress clutch uncouples after a delay when something overstresses. It's a bit complicated, but basically we'll set the delay to, let's say, 7 seconds. And right now nothing is overstressed, right? So then we'll get some brakes. Ooh, 2 of them, and turn on 1 and turn on 2. Oh, it's overstressed. And now after 7 seconds, this thing is going to uncouple. There you go. Advanced made circuit breaker. So now, as you can see, it's not moving, even though it's not overstressed anymore. Because what we need to do is get ourselves a wrench and right click it. And now it's reset. So it's just sort of like a fail safe. If everything overstresses, it's going to turn off and it won't be able to turn on until you go back and actually fix it. Just like a circuit breaker. And then the encased chain cogwheel, it works the same way as an encased chain drive. Boom, boom, bam, just that it has a cogwheel. That's basically it. You can connect cogwheels to it, which I guess is useful in several different ways. There you go. And I feel like this is also a block that just makes sense. Very nice. Then finally, we have some more copycat blocks. I like this. I don't know why this is not a part. Ooh, wait, I did not know you could do vertical slabs with this. Nice. Yeah, this should just already be a part of Create. I don't know why they only made 2 copycat things. Because, you know, in normal Create, we only have the copycat step and the copycat panel. And if you don't know what it does, well, it takes the texture of blocks. There you go, we've got a grass step and a grass panel here. You can even put it like this. But now we can do full blocks, slabs, vertical slabs, beams, and vertical steps, which I'm guessing we can place like on all corners of the blocks. Yeah, that's also very useful. And then we have some catalysts. This is an empty fan catalyst. You can fill it up with lava, water, fire, or this. I forget what it's called. The blue soul fire. Basically, in Create, you can use encased fans that blow into different things to do different things. And so normally you'd place water in front of a fan, for example, and then when you blow air through it, it does this. You can wash things with it because you're blowing water onto things. But now, instead of placing water like this and just, oh no, there's water everywhere, you can just place it in this block here, which makes everything a lot simpler. I mean, check this out. Yeah, we go into here, start burning, we extinguish ourselves. We burn a guy, I'm dying. Now, the sequenced pulse generator, I have to ponder, because I have no idea what this thing does. It outputs signals by following a timed list of instructions. Oh, so it's like the sequenced gear shift. Oh, I get it. Yeah, the name, of course. If you don't know what the sequenced gear shift does, I like to think of it like this. It lets you control your rotation more precisely or specifically. So this motor here is going into this thing, and as you can see, it is not going out on the other side. What you have to do is go inside of here and then tell it what to do. So when we power the sequenced gear shift now, it's going to turn this shaft 90 degrees in the input speed, and then we're gonna wait for another redstone pulse and then, you know, turn it again 90 degrees but reversed. And so if you now click this, see, oh, that's 90 degrees and then 90 degrees in the other direction. Then of course you can put your bearings on here, get your blocks. It's gonna rotate to the left and then it's gonna rotate to the right. And so this does the same thing but for redstone. That sounds pretty neat. Okay, let me see. If I power you now, it's gonna, oh, ooh. Can we configure? Yeah, it just had an output for a duration of 10 ticks with a signal strength of 15. Oh, ooh, someone give this to Crafty Masterman. This is nuts. Wait until input changes. So we can tell this to do many things. Output for 1 tick, a signal strength of 1. And then output for 6 ticks, a signal strength of 15. 10 ticks, 8. And then we loop forever. Look at that. We've made this happen, changing power from 15 to 8 to, what was it? 1 to 15 to 8. Let's actually make all of them like 15 ticks so we can see this. We power this. It's going to go through power 8, power 1, power 15. 8, 1, 15. 8, 1, 15. That is neat. Yeah, sequence gear shift, but for redstone. And now we're actually moving on to another mod, create power loader. And this is chunk loading, but chunk loading in a cool create mode way. So this is the empty andesite chunk loader. Oh, and this is the empty brass chunk loader. Now I can't do anything with these. They're not going to chunk load because you have to fill them up with something. And if we place it out, I think, yeah. There's a ghast in here. I think we need to pick up a ghast to make these things work. So firstly, you craft them, and then I guess if we spawn 2 ghasts, we pick them up. Yeah, and that's how you actually make the chunk loaders work. That's pretty cool. That makes it actually hard to get the chunk loaders, which I like. Chunk loader modes are usually very strange. It's a kind of hard crafting recipe, and then it just powers the chunk forever, and it's, you know, overpowered and weird. This is also very powerful, but in a more create mode way. So the andesite chunk loader loads the chunk it's in. The end. But it's not doing that now because we have to power it, and I believe we need to power it with the correct amount of RPM as well. So let's power this here. Yeah, it's not enough speed. Let's power it more. And there we go. As you can see, this is now loading the chunk I'm in, which is, yeah, this chunk right here is being loaded by this andesite chunk loader. And now you're probably wondering, well, what does the brass chunk loader do? Well, it is basically the same thing. We still need to power it from underneath and give it some speed, but it's got itself a little menu, and we can tell it to do a 1x1 square, 3x3, or 5x5. So this thing is now doing the surrounding 5x5 chunks around me, including the one I'm in, which, yeah, you can see right here. That's a lot. And I might be thinking, well, Shalz, this is just a chunk loader, but you need to rotate it to make it work. Not that cool, Shalz. Not that cool. Well, this mod has one more trick up its sleeve, and it's something I like because it has everything to do with trains. So if you don't know, create mode trains can move in unloaded chunks, but a common misconception is that they load the chunks they're in. They do not. I'm not going to get into this because this is way too technical for me, but the trains work in a system of like it can move on the tracks, but it doesn't load what's around it because the tracks are like special. I don't know. Basically, contrary to popular belief, create mode trains do not load chunks, but they can still move through them, which means if I have a train that's going over to a station over here to pick up some things, the train is going to go over there, but it's not going to pick up the things if the chunk isn't loaded. Because let's say I've got like mechanical belts that are moving things onto the train. The mechanical belts will obviously not move if I'm not there, and the train does not load the chunk. So a cargo train is completely useless unless if you're there for when it's loading on the things. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure on any of this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is how I think it is. And create power loader fixes that. We can get the brass chunk loader and place it on the train station. Oh, there we go. And as you can see, this is now going to load the chunks when the train appears. So it's red right now, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, actually, I mean, I haven't tested this out before, but if we approach a station, does it change? There you go. As you can see, the station is powered, and that powers the chunk loader. So you don't have to load the chunks all the time. It's just that when the train gets here and it's going to load on the things, boom, the chunk gets loaded, and then when the train leaves, chunk gets unloaded. Create connected and create power loader. You can download it in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed. That's it. Bye. Bye-bye. The video is over. Why are you still here?